I feel drunk, but I'm sober. I'm young and I'm underpaid. I'm tired, but I'm working. Yeah, and what it all comes down to is I haven't really got it figured out just yet. Hi, I'm Liz and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Liz.
I'm 26 years old. I'm 2.5 years sober, which is a long time for someone who spent at least 20 years running away from her problems. So let me show you where I've been running and how I ended up here. When I meet John in 2011, I'm 19 years old, and he seems like the perfect man. He's thoughtful, charming, considerate. So when he starts physically abusing me 6 months later, I think I must have done something terrible to turn this amazing man into the one that was screaming at me, "Liz, this is your fault. I wouldn't have to choke you if you loved me. You just need to convince me." So for years I try to convince him, to prove to him that I love him so he stops hurting me. But nothing works. I start attending Al-Anon meetings, which is a support group for the friends and family members of alcoholics, and I meet Kim there. Kim is another woman who's escaped from an abusive marriage and chosen to become a battered woman's advocate. So it is literally her job to help women escape from abusive relationships. I Skype with her on the night of my escape, January 31st, 2015. Okay, Kim. Here, I'm just putting all my things in a trash bag so that if anyone sees me leave, they just think I'm taking out the trash. God, I hate living above his parents. You know, every time I've tried to leave John, his mom just stops me and she always defends John. "What's all that banging upstairs, Liz? It's for that kind of thing. What'd you do this time?" Okay. My birth certificate, that's important, and his dad knows too, and he doesn't want me to leave because he's our landlord, and of course, I pay all the rent. "Elizabeth, I knew something was wrong with you. If you want to leave because you think John is too angry, can't you just wait until the spring?" Okay, I need everything else that's important to me. My mother's jewelry, this picture of my parents, and that's it. Thank you so much for letting me stay with you, Kim. I'm coming over. I tiptoe down the stairs. I open the car door as quietly as I can, and I put my garbage bag inside. I start the car, and I pray that nobody hears me leave. I make it to Kim's house. I stay here for almost a year, and it's the first place I feel like I can really call home. When I arrive, he explains to me, "Liz, the week after someone escapes from an abusive relationship is the time that they're most likely to be killed. So you're gonna have to tell your boss about John and have someone escort you out of the building. I don't want anything to happen to you." I listened to Kim. For 3 days, the only thing keeping me sane is the fact that my boss agrees to lock the elevators. On the 4th day, John follows one of my coworkers into the elevator and shows up at my office with flowers. I am paralyzed with fear. I get him to leave outside for me and follows me into the T station. I call the police, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts opens charges against him for assault, battery, and witness intimidation. I cannot step outside without taking a look over my shoulder, so I decide to file for my first restraining order against John. On the 5th day, I sit in the Quincy courthouse basement with water-stained, puke yellow walls that won't stop closing in on me. And when you file a restraining order, you need to fill out an affidavit listing all the reasons that you need one, all the reasons you're in fear for your life. So Kim walks me through this. "Liz, I'm going to ask you some questions so you know what to write down, okay? Now, did John ever punch you, kick you, choke you? Yeah, I mean, he mostly just choked me, but I never passed out or anything. It really wasn't that bad. Liz, that's bad enough. You need to write that down. Now, did he have any weapons, guns, knives? Did he ever threaten you with them? Well, he got a fake ID in Arizona and he bought 4 illegal handguns, and yeah, once he held a knife to my throat, but he was just kidding. And Kim, if I write that down, he's gonna go to jail for a really long time and his parents are gonna hate me and it's gonna be all my fault. And Liz, this is the only thing that's gonna keep you safe. Whatever happens to John, it's not your fault. It's his fault. I am granted the restraining order. John doesn't go to jail. He correctly assumes that I'll report the guns to the police, so he hides them. Me, if my body is unadulterated by a drink or a drug, my mind spirals endlessly out of control, wearing a mask of darkness, its negative voice taunting me at all hours. How could you be so stupid to get yourself into this situation? John was right all along. You're never gonna be happy, Liz. Just look. You're so ugly, fat, stupid, selfish. Who could ever love you? You'd be lucky if John found you and killed you. Everyone would be lucky. Look how pathetic you are. All this pain you're in, you deserve all of it. So, I continue my love affair with drugs and alcohol. It is the only thing keeping that voice quiet. But to really understand how I became addicted to substances and in an abusive relationship, I need to talk about my father, Jeff Zinn. It's September 3rd, 2009. At the age of 66, my father is diagnosed with esophageal cancer, which I think had something to do with all the drugs and alcohol he'd consumed throughout his life. I am 18. A week before my father passes away, I am arrested for DUI, driving under the influence. His last words to me, "I cannot believe you did this. I am so ashamed of you." It is all he would say for an entire week. At 2 a.m. on January 14th, 2010, my dad lay in a bed at Hudson Valley Hospital. I hold his hand as he takes his last breath. "I'm so sorry, Dad. This is my fault. My whole life, it's just been you and me, with Mom in and out of in the hospital and jail for her eating disorder, her compulsive shoplifting. It's just been us, and I've tried so hard to make you proud and to be everything you wanted me to be and to show the world that we're all okay. But Dad, we're not okay. I'm not okay. Now I am everything you've never wanted me to be, everything I said I'd never become, and here you are on your deathbed talking for 7 days about how disappointed you are in the daughter that was supposed to save you. That has to be why you're dying. This is my fault." So with all that guilt that I learned to carry, when John starts beating and blaming me for the destruction of our relationship, of course I believe him. I grew up in a broken home. My parents acted out the typical codependent addict pattern even before I came into the picture. I know because my mom told me. "Lizzie, it's April 30th, 1976, and I'm about to start my very job as a secretary in an office with 30 bankers, and I'm about to meet Daddy for the very first time. Hi, Mr. Zinn. My name's Anita. It's so nice to..." "Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee." Well, he's rude, moody, and intimidating, and I want him. And I wonder why I have issues with men. You fell in love one sunny day some 40 years ago. When I'm 2 years old, my mother notices I'm afraid to climb a ladder at the playground. Lizzie, feel the fear, but do it anyway. In this moment, I see my mother. You fell in love, she ran away from the scars she couldn't show. I see the woman that's ultimately taken from me by her inner demons. And you wanted so to save her, you wanted to know why. My father, the dry drunk, trades substance abuse for a codependent relationship with my anorexic mother. When you can't protect your lover, what else is there to do but try? My dad tries everything to get my mom to eat, just like I tried everything to get John to stop hurting me. But to peel away scars, you'd have to peel away your own. Nothing works. My parents don't get help. So light another cigarette. You're walking down a lonely road. My father smokes himself to death. My mother starves herself to death. They don't escape from themselves. Now, the only reason I didn't continue down that same path is because I turned around sooner, with help from people like Kim. And when I moved in with Kim 3 years ago, after escaping from John, she happened to be 25 years sober. One night, we're trading what I think are funny drinking stories. I said, I claim this land in the name of Admiral Nelson. I obviously don't remember what happened after that. Liz, do you know that blacking out is a serious sign of alcoholism? Okay. Never heard that before. On October 13th, 2015, about 1 year post-escape, I am 24 years old, and I get to my first AA meeting. Now, I stay sober, and I still have to see John every year to renew the restraining order, which I do successfully each year for 3 years, until February 9th, 2018, when I lose the restraining order. Order in the court. Ms. Zinn, you got nothing to worry about. If John sends you a flower or a text message, anything, just come back on Tuesday and get a restraining order. There needs to be some finality to this. So right about now, I want to down a bottle of Jack and throw it at the judge's face. I want to scream at him and say, finality? How about a permanent restraining order against the man who still has an open firearms investigation against him? You know, the one who tortured me every day for 4 years? I am not worried about a flower. I am not worried about a text message. I am worried about a homicide. So how about a permanent restraining order? That sounds pretty final. But I don't say that. Your Honor, could you please just take a look at the open firearms investigation paperwork again? I mean, he has these guns hidden somewhere. That is what I'm worried about. No. I think we're done here. Mr. John Podsides, you understand you have no reason to go near this girl. She's obviously anxious. I had done so much work on myself to get over this abusive relationship. I had spent thousands of dollars on therapy and lawyers, and not to mention all the money him and his parents stole from me. And I wasted so much time, and all of it seemed worth it when John had legal sanctions against him, but now they're gone. He's walking away, and all I have is the reassurance of a judge that if anything happens, I could just come back and get one. That is how it feels. But I have a lot more than that. Crimson hair, you're standing there, looking smug as hell, guilty as ever. And I can see through that cold stare. You try to stand up straight, but you're crooked. Like the floor of our apartment, with the soup left on the stove. You broken record liar. You are growing stale. You're something of a memory now, a nightmare. You're a ghost, and you want to take away my dream. Well, you can take my time, you can take my money, but you'll never take my freedom. All of my money, but you'll never take my freedom. November 19th, 2016. About 13 months after I get sober, I auditioned for Berklee College of Music. And when I escape from John and get sober, I pick up music just like I picked up drugs and alcohol. But it's not an escape. Not as much as it is a full sensory immersion, a transformation, an arrival. So here I am at Berklee. I've arrived. I'm Liz and I'm an alcoholic. I feel drunk, but I'm sober. I'm green, but I'm wise. I'm lost, but I'm whole. Baby, what it all comes down to is that everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. And I got one hand in my pocket